Okay everybody, welcome back to part 10 of the series of the Wot4 ARTF build. Today we're going to be concentrating on fitting the servos into the fuselage. But before we do that, before I show you that, I would just like to recap on the previous videos, and now you can see that the engine has been mounted. It's screwed in position, into its final position there. The throttle linkage has been connected up and pushed through the bulkhead. That's all ready to go. And also back on the tail end of the model, you can see that the elevator push rod has been connected, and also the bar that goes through the rudder for the pull system has been drilled and fitted. The only consideration here is obviously when you drill this hole for the bar, keep it nice and square, sort of 90 degrees to the rudder, and also in line with the slot in the fuselage where the cable will exit, just so everything lines up nicely. So all that's been done up front, ready to go. If we have a look inside the fuselage, if I can look down on it, you can see that I've already sort of fitted the servos. But what I've actually done, which differs from the instructions, is I've swapped these servos for the elevator and the rudder. I've swapped them round the opposite way, and let me show you the instructions. You will see this quite clearly. There we go. If it will zoom in on that, you can see that I have actually swapped these around the other way. The reason for that is, and this is my logic, is the connectors for the pull system. These, when the servo was the other way round, if I can hold that, I can't quite see. When the servo was the other way round, the actual adjusting part came underneath this piece of wood here, which holds the wings in position, which made it really awkward to sort of adjust the linkage. So I've swapped that round, so hopefully now with the linkage up the front you can easily get onto that. You'll see that when I've actually connected it. I'll give another final shot. The servo at the front here controls your throttle. That's been connected. It hasn't been fastened onto the actual servo itself. I've just got that in place at the moment because I'm going to show you a little video later on how to set up the throttle. So that's about it really. Just a little tip when you're installing servos. I've left a screw out here just to show you this. I use a pin drill, which is a hand operated tool just to hold a small drill, and what I do, I spot through the servos like so. This is just to put a decent hole in there, so when you screw your servo screws in, it doesn't split the wood. That's just a little tip. And also I'm using, if I can actually show you this, the servo screws are very small cap head screws. They're really nice, these are, with the built-in washer, which I much prefer to use these than a normal screw that tends to skid off. At the front, this is the area where your receiver is going to go, and possibly your battery is either going to, well, it's got a choice of a few places, which could be under the fuel tank, around where the wheel area is bolted, or further back here. This all depends on the final weight and the CG, which I'll show you. I don't actually put the battery until the very last, when I've got it balanced up on the scales, and I use the battery for ballast to give a decent CFG. So that's about it at the moment. I'll show you the next video with the RX installed and with it ready to balance.